The way Mandalorian Episode 2 starts off, you immediately think to yourself, wonderful, there's going to be more side quests to this episode than there are your average run-through of Grand Theft Auto before we actually get to a plot worth watching. But surprisingly, the writers looked at all the plot they built up from Episode 1 and figured out right away that it was about as useful as Anne Frank's drum kit. So we left Episode 1 with Mando and Grogu heading to Mandalore in order for Mando to bathe in the living waters so he can redeem himself. Yes, this episode could have been titled Mando Seeks a Bath. But first, a pit stop to another old friend, this time Peli-Motto, looking for the replacement IG-11 memory circuit, a piece not even Peli or the Jawas can scrounge up. She sells him an R5 droid on the cheap and off they go. Good thinking, Mando. It only took you a whole episode to come to this conclusion. Once again, Grogu is used as exposition, this time to spout backstory where Mando grew up. They enter the atmosphere of Mandalore, and this planet is more torn up than the surface of Madonna's face. He sends R5 out ahead to take some readings of the planet. When R5 disappears, Mando is forced to go after him inside the mines, where he's attacked by trolls and is forced to use the darksaber against them. The darksaber must weigh about 50 pounds because Mando barely can control his swings, but he eventually kills the trolls that are attacking him and retrieves R5 in the process. Through R5's readings, it turns out, big surprise, Mandalore is not cursed after all. So Mando and Grogu descend into the mines. While down there, Mando is captured by a mining droid that carries him further into the mines. You learn later that this is a much larger droid controlled by a smaller one inside. Grogu tries to free Mando, but is caught in the process. Mando tells him to go back to get help from Bo-Katan. The little force booger barely escapes with R5 and is finally given something to do other than be a toilet that catches an exposition dump. But not for long. Bo-Katan returns to Mandalore with the Moko with ears to help. She also drops her expositional deuce on Grogu in the same exact spot Mando did 15 minutes earlier.
Repetition is the father of learning. That's another quote.
Who said that?
Lil Wayne.
Meanwhile, Mando is being drained of his essence and precious bodily fluids by the little insect droid before Bo-Katan reaches him. She has to fight the giant droid that took Mando and does so by swinging the darksaber around as if it was light as a feather. How can she do this while Mando acted like he was wielding a 50-pound club? Ah, girl power. Very strong stuff. She rescues Mando, and the question becomes, will Mando make it to the living waters, and what will he find when he finally takes a bath in them? This episode is a slight return to form for The Mandalorian, making its shaky start of Episode 1 more of a filler episode to get everyone back up to speed for time lost. It makes you question why wasn't Episode 2 blended in with Episode 1, because Episode 2 is really the true season premiere you should watch. There was plenty of action and suspense to balance this episode that was nicely wrapped up with tiny little mysteries that kept you going. Is Mandalore truly poisoned? What's in the cave? How far down does the cave go? Why did the Mandalorians build a civilization inside a cave? What are these trolls doing here? What's living inside the droid? Oh, a smaller droid. Looks like something's living inside the smaller droid. What's living inside the living waters? What is life? Okay, maybe that last one isn't in there. None of these plot elements seem contrived, nor do they overstay their welcome. The problems this new season has is all the damn exposition. Seems like every time a character opens their soup coolers under a mask, it's to vomit plot points. It gets tedious and useless. Much like the Oscars.
Oh, wow!
Also, you can't help but notice that when Pedro Pascal does his line reads, it's like he's bored out of his mind thinking about all the other places he wants to be at that moment. Petey, you're getting big paychecks for this. Smile a little.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing.
Maybe episode 1 of season 3 was the exception and not the rule. One can only pray that this is the case because for Disney Star Wars, The Mandalorian is its only hope. But as it stands, episode 2 is flawed but a good piece of entertainment and proof that Filoni and Favreau haven't completely shit the bed. Unless that bed is exposition, where they're tucking in Grogu in a sheet of shit and giving him a good night kiss. Tune in for my next review on episode 3 to find out which way The Mandalorian goes. But for now, I'm out of here.